Hey, Riddle here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're a subscriber. I really appreciate it. Topic of today's video, getting unstuck. I know so many people right now who are stuck. Some people have been forcibly stuck, but being forcibly stuck meaning because of the coronavirus, not being able to do what you want to do is different than being stuck. I know a lot of creative people who are stuck. They have this idea that they want to write a book or illustrate, create some kind of product, or make actual fine art, yet they're not doing it. And if you can't do it now, with all the time we have and all the inspiration, you have to really analyze why, the whys. So how do you stop agonizing about being stuck in a relationship, stuck in a job, stuck in your head, which is the worst? You know, how do you take that and move it to action, move it to change? Okay, so I'm going to give you a string of exercises to begin. The first thing is self-commitment. If you don't love yourself enough, or if you can't prioritize self-commitment, then you can just stop watching this video now. And most people have already, because sadly we have the attention span of gnats. And you know, this is the new natural selector. Those who can concentrate and those who can commit to self and push through all the distractions in life that are not actually a reality. They're not your reality, but we consume them because they help us to waste time. They make us feel like we're doing something when we're actually just feeding the matrix. For instance, TikTok. I have a friend, oh boy, avoided all his problems for a solid 6 years now, and has a pattern of getting involved with people that, you know, just aren't dysfunctional, but are dangerous. So now here he is, ready to have to divorce, and has all these valid concerns about what's going to happen. And instead of taking the time to secure those things to alleviate potential harms and stress, he watches a lot of TikTok. A lot. And he sends me just the most idiotic shit. And I just want to shake him and say, you don't have time for this. You really are making yourself a victim. Self-victimization, you know, is like, that's when you're an adult and you feed and make choices that keep you from happiness. And not just happiness, just regular old productivity, you know, just regular old evolving and maturing. You know, so many people say that they know so many adults now that have no wisdom, and there's a huge disrespect for the boomers. And it's funny how the kids come at you when you're of a certain age, and it's funny because it's ironic. It's a complete reflection of what they don't want, or what they're criticizing is exactly what they're doing by name calling and criticizing. So it always makes me laugh. The know-it-all, you know, the know-it-all generation. But I guess at a certain age we all thought we knew it all. Can't wait to see you at 50, kids. Anyway, I got off course there. So what are we gonna do? This is what we're going to do. I was just testing you. I was testing you to see how long you would listen to this video before you just wandered off, to test your attention span, because the information I'm going to give you could really help you and change your life. Okay, information. Your exercise. Number one, buy yourself a notebook, or dedicate a spot in your phone or computer for journaling. I like to handwrite things. I like to physically see it. I like to physically grab it. You would be surprised how many people that I ask to journal can't even bring themselves to go out and buy or order one online or obtain a notebook. That's just the first process, and they can't even bring themselves to do that. So that's where I know somebody's going to fail, that they just basically have no self-love, no self-commitment. Next, you're going to take that journal. And I got this technique from the Crappy Childhood Fairy. And what she says is you wake up every morning, and as soon as you're conscious, you are going to write in that journal all the fears you're feeling that morning, all the fears and all the resentments. So it seems simple enough, but this is a terrifying exercise. It really gets all of the stuff out of your head that's keeping you from taking action in your life and puts it in front of you. It puts it in front of you. And the beautiful thing about it is when it's in your head and it's jumbled up with all those have to do's and want to do's and don't want to do's and can't do's, you can't really take action against it because it's you can't focus on it. It's jumbled in your head, but once you get it out of your head, you get it in front of you, journaled, it gives you an amazing ability to finally see what's going on inside of your head. And I'm mentoring someone right now. He's in his 40s and a really happy, nice, pretty well-adjusted guy, but stuck. And I had him do this exercise, and he texted me the next day and he said, I had no idea how many things and how many fears and how many resentments I was harboring in my subconscious, subconscious. And he is doing this daily now, writing these things out. So once you get comfortable with that, it's not enough. You have to take it to the next level. The next level is writing out some solutions, or possible solutions are generally actions. Even a mood or an attitude is an action. So you're going to, after your fears or resentments, you're going to journal to yourself and write out some potential things that you could do to change or to alleviate or to minimize those negative emotions. If you're afraid of running out of money, okay, well, now is the time to recreate yourself. It's not just wanting to take a class or go to school. It's what can I do to alleviate the fears? So after you scribble out, okay, I need to re-educate myself. I've always been interested in entomology. Well, then you can't just leave it at that, because that's like dreaming, and dreaming is still inside your head. Next comes the actions, and the actions would be to take the time, instead of distracting yourself, watching sports, watching football, masturbating, TikToking, you're going to go online or go to your local community college and find out what classes, how much, how long will it take, what are the job opportunities, what is it, something that I could, thrive doing, whatever that is. You could even possibly, more difficult now, but the pandemic hopefully will be lifting 6 months, 8 months. I highly suggest shadowing a professional. And what shadowing is if you want to go into real estate, before you take the class, before you pass the class, before you get your license, before you invest thousands of dollars, go spend some real time with a real estate agent and see all the good and all the bad and all the in-between. That is the reality of being a real estate agent. Okay? So, get your journal. Start writing out all your fears and all of your resentments. And after you do that, you don't want to rush through this. It's suggested that you take 15 or 20 minutes after you journal that stuff out to do some deep breathing exercises, a little bit of meditation. I'm not a big meditator. It's difficult for me, but that's okay. This isn't about being perfect. This isn't about being a yogi. This is about connecting with yourself. And that's all that the deep breathing and body awareness is about, is that you're connecting into your body and listening and communicating with yourself so that you can be more in control of not just your life, but of your emotions, because your emotions create moods, and your moods affect relationships and outcomes. Moods are really, really tricky things. And if you come from a background or have had trauma in your life, or are in a situation right now that you're experiencing high stress and trauma, the brain and your perception of reality may not be correct. It may not be correct. And you may be reacting instead of responding, and you may be pushing away good relationships or possible relationships or opportunities because of how you are, your pain is being displayed through your mood because you are reacting instead of responding. I highly, highly recommend also that you look up the information around what an assertion is versus an assessment, especially in these weird ass times after the Trump era. People have completely warped communication and perception of society and each other, because there's a big difference between an assessment and an assertion, and how that forms both healthy communication and reality. Because if you're coming at someone, I'm going to give you an example. You see someone and they do something, and right away you make a quick assertion, but you don't know anything about this person, nothing at all. And you react to them aggressively or negatively or mean-spiritedly because you assumed, you made this assessment with no facts. That's where the danger is. The danger is an ungrounded assessment is not reality. And many, many, many of us live our daily lives in a negative fantasy and make ourselves in terrible moods because we are not taking into consideration mass reality or someone else's reality versus our possibly wounded or warped reality in that moment. Okay, that's a lot. I want you to just go for that. I've given you plenty to do today. I want you to take that and commit to yourself. Just commit to this exercise and let me know what you come up with and what this brings up for you and what kind of challenges you face with these exercises. And if you can't commit to just journaling, taking 5 to 30 minutes a day to communicate with yourself and commit to yourself, then enjoy being stuck. Realize that you are the engineer, the creator of your reality, and you may be blaming all the circumstances in the world right now. You may be blaming a relationship. You may be blaming a lot of things. You may be blaming yourself, but blame does not create change. And blame isn't going to get you anywhere but stuck. So get unstuck. Okay, thanks for listening. I hope you do well with this exercise, and let me know what happens.